now. God damn it, Evan. Okay, so this is episode 3 of Drunk Weather. Let's go ahead and get something out of the way. The first episode is called The Pilot, as you probably know, and the second episode is called The Co-Pilot. And the third episode is going to be called Episode 1. The reason I'm doing this is to fuck over anyone who happens to use this as a trivia question on one of those fancy game shows like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Because people are going to say, oh, there are like 28 episodes. No, you're wrong. There are 30. There's always going to be N plus 2 episodes because a pilot and a co-pilot are technically episodes in my opinion. So let it be known this is Episode 3, but it will be called Episode 1, just to mess with everybody. That said, we're going to continue on to Drunk Weather. Weather. Am I doing this right? I hope I am. I really hope this is going because I haven't confirmed if it is, and it's still a really shitty system that I'm using. I'm gonna pretend it is though, just because that makes life easier for me. So let's do a really quick circle jerk on the thing with stuff, and let's go to Earth. There we go. And by popular request, we all have to look at this stupid fucking tropical cyclone. Even though I don't really care, we're gonna... How do I do this? It's East Tropical. Oh, that looks about right. And is it visible yet? Can they see brightness in Barbados yet? Let's do a quick check. No, it's still dark over there. In fact, it's dark all the way into Africa. It's dumb. Okay, whatever. So, as you might expect, if you remember from broadcast meteorology, you can see it going west because winds tend to move things to the west. And I'm not encouraged by it so far, but my best hope is that it's suppressed by this Bermuda High, and it ends up just doing the Ivan, which is my favorite dance. Which involves it just going straight through the Gulf of Mexico, and then it goes into the northeast U.S. and it says, you know what, we missed Florida the first time, so let's just say fuck you, and it goes through Florida into Texas. But I'm not terribly convinced that's going to be the case. That's all you get from tropical meteorology. Sorry, Henan. We're moving on to places that matter, which is the East Conus. All right, so what are we doing here? We're burning. Oh my god. This happened last time. That's a 91 in Maine Pass. That's like a Northern. Yeah, so a front just passed through, as you could probably tell by the relatively low dew points. Where's my dew point switch? Shit. There it is. Okay, so we can use dew points as a relative gradient for the frontal boundary. Surprise! And it ends up being, I hope someone's timing me here, it ends up being about Ohio Valley, Cincinnati, Dioc, all that shit. And look at all of these. Well, you can't because I don't think I'm broadcasting anything right now. But in a second, you'll be able to look at all these and see that Tampa International Airport is reporting a dew point of 79 Fahrenheit, which, no thank you, senor. And closer to heaven, we're reporting dew points of Strathmore. What the fuck is Strathmore? 50. 50s. That's still pretty high though for a station at 51 North. 50 is still a pretty high dew point. But it gets better, and that's what we're going to go over right about now, actually. And we're going to load up some models, if I remember how to do that. I actually loaded this up earlier, Jake, we were talking about this. Hey, look at that, it works! Okay, so we're looking at the NAM. For those of you unfamiliar, that is the North American Mesoscale model. And the 4 after the NAM just simply suggests that it's a 4-kilometer grid, which is really high resolution and kind of unnecessary because it's going to start initiating things that don't exist, but we'll get into that to a later episode. So pretty much the gist of this is the color fill right now is temps, and the lines, you could think of it as, explain it like a 5 version is, what are those lines anyway? Oh, there's 7. Okay, so they're approximately above the ground, essentially. And so let's move those forward. And let me put a marker here, because that's about where I am. I just kind of know anymore. Like, I don't even have to guess. I just know exactly where I am. And so you see the mountains are cooler as we expect. But here we go. Here you'll see the winds shifting. The arrows are pointing in the direction of the winds. That confuses a lot of rookies in the meteorology world. Is wind vectors do the exact opposite of wind barbs, which is just to mess with everyone. So these are actually pointing in the direction of the wind, not from which the wind is being collected. But we'll go over that later. Okay, so today, tomorrow, we still get a little bit of southerly flow. By tomorrow afternoon, it's game over, though. You see this, this low is now east of us, and it's pumping in. That solid blue is below freezing. And there's also some precip involved with this. So that's why I was going to switch to the, if I can successfully do this. So this one, yep, cool. So now we're looking at, for all intents and purposes, is temperature with height, as well as a bunch of other shit with height, but all you care about is the temperature. So let's go to the newest NAM here. Actually, NAM's 4K, so that should be easier. Why is it still 12C? What the fuck? Okay. The NAM is not, though. It's 0. It's cool. So let's go to tomorrow. Wait for it. There it goes. Okay, right there. So you see the freezing line. It's 0. There's a line here. And the surface temperature is only 3.2. 4.1 is what I'm getting at the surface. And the freezing height is 1,000 feet above ground level. So the sounding program is calling that rain, but I'm skeptical of that actually falling as rain. I feel like tomorrow the official word from the experts at Drunk Weather is that I'd like to see a mix of some kind. Not enough to do anything to travel plans, but still enough to really fuck with the minds of people who don't know better and know how cyclones work. And so I expect a lot of our Calgary bids going, oh my god, it was warm yesterday and now it's snowing, or something stupid like that. So go ahead and buy up on that, because I feel like that's going to be the case. And I think that's all we care about there. Let's go back to the browser, because there are a few of you who care about what your neck of the woods is doing, because I think at least one of our audience is in Canada, but the rest of you are not. So let's look at some long range here. Long range is just now coming in, giggity, and let's see. So you can see that you see some cool air being pumped in. Actually, let's go to 850 because it's 925. It's kind of some bullshit. Okay, so you see the cool air being pumped into the north, and all the flyover is burning again. Surprise. East Coast is kind of under a relative relative cold air mass. They just had a cold front pass through, so there's not too much going on there right now. But that same thing that gave us the snow, or whatever the hell it's going to give us, is going to give the flyover states some relative cold by Monday. You can see that there. There's a pretty intensive cold front coming through. I mean, we're getting to that magical time of year now where it's no longer just, okay, does everyone burn or not? Now it's a case of, okay, besides California, which you can see over there, who else is not burning? And it happens to be the East Coast U.S. And we go to a previous run, so we can wrap this shit up and say, it's the same thing we saw before. And, okay, yeah, so by Tuesday, pretty much all of the East Coast is under a relatively cool, that's what, like 8C. And we're looking at a level that's a couple of thousand feet above, but it's a good metric for a relative temperature change. It's going to be cooler than it was, whether that is the right level or not. And then the warm builds up again by Friday, and hopefully by then, we can get some interesting shit going on thunderstorm-wise, which we'll take a really quick look at. Yes. So you can see Tuesday, Wednesday, not much going on. And then if I had to guess, yep, there it goes. There are a couple of... It's still not terribly impressive. Like if I just picked a random spot here Friday, I'm guessing there's going to be some cape, but not a lot. Actually, there's none because I picked a morning hour, and that's an inversion layer. That's funny. I tried an afternoon hour, and I don't think this window may or may not show up. There's actually minimal cape with that one too. But so yeah, that's pretty much what we expect is Alberta is going to get its ass kicked by snow, particularly in the higher elevations, and everyone else is going to continue to burn, which, I don't think that's anything new. So, episode 3 is Peace and New.